Hi everyone. So we just finished our series on design thinking, and I thought I'd tackle another aspect that it's really important, and for which design thinking is fundamental. A video related to the very same concept of problem. We all gonna face a variety of problems during the course of our life, and sometimes we just spend weeks and months and years facing a problem that we think we cannot solve, and we feel pushed down and hopeless and stuck. And that's when design thinking really comes in handy. So for design thinkers and designers, there's no such thing as a problem if it's not actionable. So there are three types of problem category in design thinking: gravity problem, anchor problem, and dysfunctional belief. Dysfunctional belief are the easiest one, are those ones that are self-imposed, probably for our culture, for our fixed mindset, for what we've heard, for our background and whatever. And we've met over the course of this videos on design thinking, a few of them, like my life will depend on the degree that I'm gonna have. And this is not true, because 3 out of 4 college grads end up doing a job that has nothing to do with their major, or work is not supposed to be enjoyable, that's why we call it work. And we say that's not true, because since you're going to be doing that for 80 to 85% of your time, enjoyment should be one of the fundamental dimensions for you to evaluate the career you want to take on. Or I'm stuck, I only have one possibility in one life, I need to find it and execute it better. And the correct reframe is, statistically it's measured, we have 3.4 life within ourselves on average. So we are free to pick and choose which one we want to live, and this is rather liberating. So these are the dysfunctional belief, and if you want, design thinking is great because it's giving you tools to reframe this dysfunctional belief, losing a lot of weight that is on your shoulder that results in, a greater happiness and greater freedom of living and enjoying your life. Then we have a second type of problem that we already met: gravity problems. Gravity problems are those problems that are simply exist, like gravity. They are not actionable, therefore they're not even problems, just facts. If you want to run a marathon in Bolivia, in which you have scarcity of oxygen, you cannot complain. That's just a fact. So you rather accept that fact and work out in a way in which you do some actionable prototype to work around that gravity problem. There are some other gravity problems. You want to be a poet, but you still want to have the certainty of getting paid every 20th of the month because you need a salary. Then don't do the poet, because the poet doesn't have the certainty of getting paid, and even when it's get paid, it's never sure that that will last. When you accept it, you can work your way through some prototypes around that problem. T.S. Eliot was terrified of losing his income coming from his books. He was a bookkeeper before he started writing, and he was so terrified about it that his publishing company had to give him a job as a bookkeeper for that publishing company. So the only way in which you can lose a gravity problem is accept it, build a prototype, and work your way around it. And then there's a third type of problem that is even more difficult to recognize than gravity problem, and sometimes even more difficult to lose. And it's called anchor problem. It's called anchor problem because it keeps us anchored to a single and known solution, because we just think that's the only solution that will work, even if it's not the case, and even if most of the time that's not an actionable solution. But we keep on going back and back and back to that single path because we know just that. And that's why we always say that innovation, and particularly in design thinking, quantity has a quality on its own. Because if you stretch your mind, and instead of starting from one single option, you start at least from 3, you will avoid going back to that one single option that never works. That's what an anchor problem is. So how do we lose an anchor problem? We just need to accept that that problem is not related to the problem itself, but to the fear that whatever we do, that won't work. So we rather go back to what we think we know better. So instead of reframing the problem, we need to reframe the solution that we think we know into smaller prototypes, and working your way around that anchor problem through those prototypes. In my occasion, it was keeping my expenses during my executive career or consulting career. I thought the solution was, okay, I'll just do it, every weekend. But then the weekend come and the receipts were way too many, so it was staying there and there and there until it was just too big. But I was wrong, because it was going back to that solution. I need to do it a chunk at a time. When I analyzed my solution, I realized that that process for me was very painful. I realized that that was draining my energy. So once I realized that, one of the prototypes was maybe I call a personal assistant in order to help me doing those things that are really draining my energy. And once I realized that that was the right solution, I carried on with that, brought it with me, never had a single problem in that ever again. So as you can see, that's why design thinking is fundamental, because it allows you to grow. It allows you to be a better version of yourself, and it allows you to lose all that weight that is not necessary and is most of the time self-imposed and is keeping you chained to the ground. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, ciao everyone, and rock on.